Dear viewers, greetings. In this video, we are going to discuss about various types of NMR spectroscopy. Nuclear magnetic resonance or NMR spectroscopy is a powerful analytical tool used to determine the structure of molecules by studying the magnetic properties of atomic nuclei. Various types of NMR spectroscopy are employed depending on the nuclei of interest, the type of information desired, or the specific experimental setup. Below, there are 14 types of NMR spectroscopy. They are proton NMR, carbon-13 NMR, phosphorus-31 NMR, fluorine-19 NMR, nitrogen-15 NMR, solid-state NMR, multidimensional NMR, dynamic nuclear polarization NMR, magic angle spinning NMR, paramagnetic NMR, deuterium NMR, quadrupolar nuclei NMR, relaxation NMR, and finally hyperpolarized NMR. The first type is proton NMR or 1H NMR. Principle: the proton NMR is the most common form of NMR. It observes the magnetic resonance of hydrogen-1 nuclei. It is widely used to determine the structure of organic compounds by analyzing the environment of hydrogen atom within a molecule. Regarding applications, this proton NMR is applied for the analysis of organic chemistry, drug design, biomolecules, and natural product identification. The second type of NMR spectroscopy is carbon-13 NMR. Principle: carbon-13 NMR focuses on the carbon-13 isotope, which is less abundant than the common carbon-12 isotope, but is NMR active. It provides detailed information about the carbon skeleton, which is present in the organic compounds. Applications: carbon-13 NMR is very helpful to analyze the structure determination, carbon framework elucidation, and polymers. The third type of NMR is phosphorus-31 NMR. This phosphorus-31 NMR is used to study the phosphorus-31 isotope. This type of NMR is valuable for studying phosphorus-containing compounds, including nucleotides, phospholipids, and organophosphorus compounds. Regarding application, phosphorus-31 NMR is used in biochemical analysis like nucleic acids and ATP studies, catalysis, and material sciences. The fourth type of NMR spectroscopy is fluorine-19 NMR. Principle: the fluorine-19 is a naturally abundant isotope with high sensitivity to NMR. This method is used to investigate fluorinated compounds, which are common in medicinal chemistry and material science. This fluorine-19 NMR is used for the analysis of fluorinated drugs, polymers, and organofluorine chemistry. The fifth type of NMR spectroscopy is nitrogen-15 NMR spectroscopy. The nitrogen-15 NMR is used to study the nitrogen containing compound. Since nitrogen-15 is less abundant and has low sensitivity, this technique often requires isotope labeled or high field instruments. Regarding applications, nitrogen-15 NMR spectroscopy is used for the analysis of proteins and nucleic acid studies, metabolic labeling in biological systems, etc. The sixth type of NMR spectroscopy is solid-state NMR. Unlike traditional solution NMR, solid-state NMR is used to study the samples in the solid phase. It is useful for materials that do not dissolve easily. That materials includes crystals, polymers, and membranes. Solid-state NMR is used for the analysis of polymers, membranes, biological tissues, and catalysts. The seventh type of NMR spectroscopy is multidimensional NMR. The multidimensional NMR involves the application of two or more pulses and providing more detailed information about molecular interactions and structures. There are two types of multidimensional NMR. First one is 2D NMR and the second one is 3D NMR. The 2D NMR is a common technique, includes correlation spectroscopy, heteronuclear single quantum coherence, and nuclear overhauser effect spectroscopy. These experiments are widely used for analyzing the complex organic molecules and biomolecules. The 3D NMR extends 2D NMR with a third dimension, providing even more detailed structural information, especially for large biomolecules like proteins and nucleic acids. Regarding applications, multidimensional NMR is used for the analysis of structural elucidation of large biomolecules like protein and nucleic acids, and it is also involved in drug discovery. The eighth type of NMR spectroscopy is dynamic nuclear polarization NMR. In short form, it is called as DNP NMR. This DNP NMR method enhances the sensitivity of NMR by transferring polarization from electron spins to nuclear spins, significantly boosting signal intensity. Regarding the application of DNP NMR, this technique is very helpful for the analysis of low sensitivity nuclear studies, solid state NMR, material science, and catalysis. The ninth type of NMR is magic angle spinning NMR. In short form, it is called as MAS NMR. The magic angle spinning NMR is a technique in solid state NMR where the sample is spun at a specific angle of 54.7 degree relative to the magnetic field to average out anisotropic interaction and improving resolution. This MAS NMR or magic angle spinning NMR is very helpful for the analysis of crystalline solids, ceramics, polymers, and membranes. The 10th type of NMR spectroscopy is paramagnetic NMR. The paramagnetic NMR technique deals with samples containing unpaired electrons which can influence the magnetic environment and thus affect the NMR signals. This paramagnetic NMR is very helpful in the analysis of metalloproteins, coordination complexes, and paramagnetic compounds. The 11th type of NMR is deuterium NMR spectroscopy. This deuterium NMR spectroscopy is used to study deuterium, the isotope of hydrogen, and is commonly applied in isotope labeling experiments or solvent studies. This deuterium NMR spectroscopy is used for studying hydrogen exchange, determining reaction mechanism, and structural dynamics. The 12th type of NMR spectroscopy is quadrupolar nuclei NMR. This type of NMR focuses on nuclei with spin greater than half, known as quadrupolar nuclei, which have more complex splitting patterns. This quadrupolar nuclei NMR is used for the analysis in inorganic chemistry, material science, and crystallography. The 13th type of NMR spectroscopy is relaxation NMR spectroscopy. The relaxation NMR spectroscopy focuses on measuring the relaxation times of nuclei after they have been excited by a pulse of radio frequency energy. These relaxation times provides information on molecular dynamics and environment. Regarding applications, this relaxation NMR is used for studying molecular motion, interactions in proteins, solvent dynamics, and porous materials. The final and 14th type of NMR spectroscopy is hyperpolarized NMR spectroscopy. This hyperpolarized NMR spectroscopy is a technique that increases the polarization of nuclei far beyond thermal equilibrium levels, leading to stronger NMR signals. This hyperpolarized NMR is used for the analysis in medical imaging, particularly in MRI and real-time metabolic studies. Dear viewers, that's all about the various types of nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy or NMR spectroscopy. Thank you for your support. Thank you.